Monday, Anatomy 1. Hopefully you had a good weekend. Today we are going to look at how living things are organized by different levels. And this is going to lead us into just a preview of the 11 different body systems. Out of those 11, we won't cover all of them this year in Anatomy 1, but we will get to a good portion of them. You are going to be using this lesson along with a guided notes assignment. So a good thing to do would be to have this open side by side in a different tab with the assignment so that you can pause this video and go back and forth between the lesson that you're watching now and the guided notes that you need to fill out during this lesson. So if we look at the smallest thing that we can divide anything living or non-living into, it would be an atom. That's going to be the smallest, most basic unit of matter. So anything living or not is made up of atoms. When atoms are grouped together or bonded together, they will form molecules. So for example, if you had two oxygen atoms bonded to a carbon atom, that is going to make a molecule of carbon dioxide. If we get a little bit bigger and we combine smaller molecules into larger molecules, we call those macromolecules. The prefix macro just means big or large. So they are just larger, more complex macromolecules. And the four different kinds of macromolecules that there are carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. Hopefully you remember learning about those in biology class. If we put macromolecules together, we can make organelles. Organelles are just specialized structures that we would find inside of a cell. There are lots of different organelles, and those are different based on whether it's an animal cell or a plant cell, for example, or a prokaryote or eukaryote, if you remember those terms. On your note paper is, well, not paper, but you know what I mean. On your note document, we'll say, it gives you a spot I'd like you to record the name of an organelle. Hopefully you remember some of the organelles in a cell. If not, you can refer down to this little picture here in the corner. Hopefully you can read those. If not, maybe just Google or phone a friend, something like that, and figure out the name of an organelle. When we put organelles together, that is going to make up a cell, and a cell is the most basic unit of life. So all of these levels, atom, molecule, macromolecule, and organelle, those are all considered non-living. So on their own, they would not be alive or considered a living thing. But once you reach the level of a cell, now we get into where it's considered to be a living thing. If we are to put cells together, that's going to make up tissues. So a group of tissues that work together to carry out a specific function or perform a specific activity in our body is considered a tissue. And there are 4 types of tissue. You can see them here in this picture. We don't really go through those too much in Anatomy 1, but if you decide to take Anatomy 2, as long as you're not graduating this year, if you decide to take Anatomy 2 next year, you would be lucky enough to have me again for that. The 4 types of tissue that we have here, we do spend time going through those. So there are lots of types of connective tissue and epithelial tissue. There's also different kinds of muscle tissue, and then we have nervous tissue. There is a spot on your note document for you to record those 4 names. So you can get those from this picture here. But once we have a group of tissue working together to carry out a specific function, that would be considered an organ. So for example, one type of muscle tissue is cardiac muscle tissue, and we find that in the heart. So if you have different components of that cardiac muscle working together, that would have some other things making that up. So we would have epithelial tissue forming blood vessels, and connective tissue, which blood is a type of connective tissue. All of those things would help to make up the heart or what's contained inside of the heart. When we have organs that work together, at that point we would have an organ system. An organ system is going to carry out a specific activity or specific function inside of our bodies. and there are 11 different organ systems. You are going to need to record those on your note sheet as well. We are going to take a minute. There's a very quick video I'm going to have you watch, and this video is going to cover the 11 different systems. It's also going to show you some of what makes those up, as well as give you the functions. So on your paper, you just need to record the names of the 11 systems. So you may find that you need to pause this video or this part of the video while we're watching this YouTube clip.
The human organism is comprised of 11 organ systems. These 11 systems are made up of groups, or organs that function closely together toward a common goal. These organs form a system. While the names of these systems may vary slightly among the medical community, their functionality and descriptions are the same. The integumentary system has the main functions of protection and temperature regulation. The muscular system assists in movement and support, and connects bones to one another as well. The skeletal system provides protection, structural support, and assists with movement and blood production. The nervous system is the communication network and center. The endocrine system assists the nervous system with communication through message delivery. The circulatory or cardiovascular system carries blood and nutrients throughout the body. The lymphatic system works to transport fluids and fats and defends the organism against disease. The respiratory system exchanges gases as well as filters and transports air. The digestive system breaks down food and nutrients for absorption and use. The excretory or urinary system is responsible for maintaining pH and balance of body fluids, as well as excretion of waste. The reproductive system gives the organism the ability to produce offspring.
All right, so you saw the 11 systems. Again, we are going to go through a lot of them during this course. Some of them, like the endocrine system, we cover in Anatomy 2, and then some are repeated in that course as well. So if we go back to where we left off, once we have those 11 organ systems working together, that's going to make up our entire body, or make an entire living organism that would be a human. So that an organism, or in this case that we're talking about people, humans, that allows that organism to carry out all of the basic life functions that need to happen. Those basic life functions we'll be getting into after our intro of organ systems. So our last part, we're just going to do a quick review. And you have this same like upside down triangle just to organize what we've been talking about. So the smallest basic level, hopefully you remember, is an atom. If we have atoms combined together, hopefully you remember that that makes up molecules. Okay, you should be filling this out on your paper as well. Molecules together are going to make up macromolecules. That again was carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. And then macromolecules together make up organelles. An example of an organelle would be, hopefully you have something on your paper for this, but if not, an example organelle would be the mitochondria. We have lysosomes, nucleus, the ER, the endoplasmic reticulum. So any of those would be examples of organelles. And those, the 4 that are on your screen right now, again, are non-living. But once you are at the organelle level and you can put those together, that's when we have a cell and when it's considered to be a living thing. Cells put together that work to carry out a specific job for our bodies are tissues. And there are 4 kinds of tissues. Hopefully you had those listed. Connective, epithelial, muscular, and nervous. Tissues working together will make up organs. Organs working together make up our 11 organ systems. Hopefully, again, you have those listed. If not, you can go back earlier in the video. And then our 11 organ systems together are going to make up the entire organism. Okay. Now, if just a way to kind of wrap up our lesson, I'm going to play another little quick video for you, even shorter than the one we already watched. if I was even close to having a good singing voice, I would attempt to sing this song for you, but we will have somebody else sing it for us because I will not torture you by singing for you. This is going to review most of the levels. It's a little more simplified than what we just went over. It is kind of catchy, so maybe it will get stuck in your head like it got stuck in my head. But anyway, here we go.
Molecules make organelles which go together into cells. Groups of cells are called tissues which make the organs inside you. And organs work inside systems to make living organisms. This is the way we're organized from simple to complex inside.
So there you go. If you want to listen to that on repeat, be my guest. So what you're going to do now is to make sure that you have your note document filled out and make sure that that assignment is submitted that went along with this lesson. And you have 2 other quick things to get done today. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow.